I wanted to bring a different version. There's a lot of great stuff out there about trading psychology, written by ex-traders, ex-coaches or current coaches, psychologists, people who are experts in performance. I wanted to bring something unique. I was a trader for 25 years. And so I came at this from two places. One, from having been the person who fought the battles, the challenges of being a trader, the challenges of working with risk, and the inner, almost the inner feelings that generates, which often throw you out. So I didn't want it to be an academic perspective on what trading psychology is. I think that's been covered extensively. I wanted it almost to be, firstly, the inner aspects of it from having been a trader and, sort of been part of that battle, the battle which I often call a battle with ourselves. And the second element, I just want to make sure, am I coming through clear enough? Can I just check? Because I know
Yeah, you could like put the mic closer to you.
Okay, because I've got a slight gravelly voice, and I know that sometimes undermines my clarity. The second aspect was really as a coach. So as someone who started working with people and helping them with the same challenges that I experienced, and going through a lot of education and training and development as a coach, I learned a lot about and sort of speaking to people about these things. I learned a lot from their perspective that sort of reframed a lot of the challenges, and I realized that that everyone faces the same battle. It might manifest in slightly different ways, but ultimately we're all cut from the same cloth, whether we're, a super senior trader at a major hedge fund, a top investment bank trader, someone working at a large commodity or energy trading firm, someone at a prop trading firm, or someone just trying to do it for themselves, working from home, trading their own money. Now, all of those different places will have their own unique challenges, their own unique nuances, where people are. But ultimately, we're all cut from the same cloth. We're all human in the same way. We all face the same challenges of being a human. And it's where markets and uncertainty meets trading process, meets how we are as people. And then there's always going to be a slight difference with everyone, depending on their own experiences, their own belief systems, their own upbringing, their own place that they are, where they are in life and in the world. But ultimately, this is what I wanted to bring out. I wanted to put that out. And, I studied a particular form of, I would say, psychotherapy, but it was almost more philosophy, more psychological philosophy that really started to give me a window on a new angle with it. And I started to develop a new framework, a new model, which I started bringing into my work, and a tool which I developed from that, which I took from that psychotherapy / philosophy background, that provided a new way of looking at how people engage with the risk. And I wanted to put that down in a book, and that was where I went with my book, Mastering the Mental Game of Trading. And really, it was the concept of it was really centering on the being of being a trader. In other words, we can learn trading process. We can all have a trading process. We can find how to find an edge in the market. We can create a way or find a way using a system, a method, an approach that has theoretically or potentially an edge. But then it's how we are that allows that edge to come out. So almost every trader I coach already has the technical skill to perform as a trader, the edge, the process, the reader markets. What gets in the way isn't knowledge. It's an ability to assess that skill under real conditions, under drawdown, under sizing challenges, under the pressures of risk management, or the pressure maybe of somebody else whose money it is, an investor, a manager, the business they're part of. And a big part of that relates to identity, who we are, how we are. We attach so much of who we are to being right, to being seen as skilled and competent, to projecting and protecting an image of ourselves that we want to project onto the world. And the real issue is that pulls us out of the present moment, and into managing that identity, into managing how we look, how we want to be seen. Even just to ourselves, we think we're managing it to the external world, but we're just doing it to our own version of ourselves that we recognize and want to be seen as.